I'm going to show you how you can sound like Yotto in 10 minutes. Hey, it's Will from EDM Tips, where each week I share tips, tricks and tutorials on how to up your EDM production game. This week I'm going to show you how to produce this sound. Now I'm going to be using Synth 1 in this tutorial, but these principles apply to any synth, so you can follow along in Serum as well if that is your synth of choice. Now this Yotto kind of brass bass sound is also similar to the horn that Fisher uses in Losing It, but there's more to it in this tutorial than just making this one sound. If you learn how to reference music and basically recreate different sounds, it's going to be one of the biggest skills you can learn as an electronic dance music producer. All of my biggest plateaus in terms of my skill levels have been when I've basically referenced the track and refused to give up until I've got it sounding exactly how I wanted. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, thank you for subscribing and hit that notification bell. And before we get stuck in, drop me a comment below. Do you use Synth or do you use Serum? It's good for me to know, because then I know what to make my tutorials in. So without further ado, let's hop into the door and get it done. Firstly, let's just try and actually break apart what that sound is and what components there are. So obviously you've got the drums and the kind of high up percussion, but we're just focusing on this bass sound. It sounds like a horn. But underneath it there's like a sustained constant bass, because you can hear that constant bass here even at the end of the phrase. So we know we've got those two components. We've got the sustained bass, and then we've got that kind of horn sound over the top. And then after that, we've got the two horns echoing here, like in the distance, which just gives it a lovely big size. So we've got these three main components. We've got the sustained bass, we've got the horn sound, and we've got that echoing kind of afterhorn. Afterhorn is a term, I've just coined it. Copyrighted 2019. Okay, first let's get that. I want to do the horn sound first, because I know that that digital kind of wow is going to be using a filter envelope. So first we're going to get an initial patch, and that's just a saw wave. And yeah, first thing to do would be work out what note it is, and it's an F. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a low pass filter over my saw wave, put the drive up, which just adds a bit of saturation. And then we've got to assign this mod envelope to, and these controls are going to be the same in Serum, just the layout's obviously slightly different. So we have this now, we've got this envelope assigned to this filter. We're just going to activate it a bit and add the delay. And we'll turn the main cutoff down. That's kind of our top horn sound, if you will, and you might even make it a bit richer. You might get a couple of voices on there and detune them slightly. But make sure it works in mono. You're going to get some slight phasing there, but that can add to that rich organic sound. So there we've got our main horn sound. We might bring in the stereo field a little bit. And now we're going to work out this sustained bass that we'll worry about the after horns in a minute. We're just going to work on this sustained bass now. And one way we can do that is to filter out the top end, so we can focus a bit like this. So it's still a nice rich sound. I would think that there's a saw wave in there, there'd be a sine wave in there as well. And and there's still a saw wave because it's got that kind of high-end buzz still. But first let's get that sustained bass under there, so I'm just going to copy and paste that. Call that sus bass, make it yellow because I want to. And I'll just copy that because it's the same note it's hitting, just silence that, and then I'm going to initialize this patch. So we're going to start with the sine wave, perhaps bring in a bit of a square wave, or they call it a pulse wave here. We'll put a filter over it. Again, low pass. Is this making sense so far? Let me know in the comments below this video. Filter over A and B. Then match it with the horn bass. Okay, so we are getting somewhere. Now I'm going to do this after horn effect. This. And it might just be. Okay, what we're going to do that is we're just going to simply duplicate this horn bass. We're going to have it trigger afterwards, because it's coming in there, but it kind of, instead of just going meow, this one kind of goes wow, which means we're going to have to put some attack on the old envelope, the old filter envelope. So we're going to do that. So we're just going to go. And the other thing about this is that he's kind of filtered the bass out from here, so it's just the kind of upper harmonics of the horn. We don't really want to be interfering with our lovely bass that we've just created. And then he's got a delay on it, which I would usually do on an auxiliary channel, but for the sake of brevity, I'm going to use the Echo Boy and just use it in the chain. I do it on ping pong mode because you can hear in Yotto's track it's going left and right. Maybe 1-4 and 1-4. Take the feedback down. Actually do it 1-2. I think that sounded better. And you can hear it bouncing. In fact, what you might do is just put this to 100% wet, so it's only the far left and right. Yeah, that sounds pretty dope. Let's listen to the original. And you might even add a bit of compression and distortion on the main bass just to make it sound fat. So I'm going to chuck in the OTT by Steve Dudder, which I don't have in that list, so I'll go in here and get it. Expert Records, let's get the OTT. Have to be careful with this beast. And I might add a bit of decapitator before that, just to bring out some filth. And then I might compress that together. In fact, to hear what it sounds like, I'm just going to grab a loop from the Aviate, just a drum beat. And I'm just going to copy and paste it over there. I'm going to group these together in a horn bus. Horn bus, I'm coining that phrase too, right? Horn bus, copyright, Will Darling 2019. Okay, and then I'm going to stick a LFO tool to give it that sidechain pump sound. And then we are going to listen to and here's the original, but obviously he's got more beats because it's later in the track. There you go guys, not a million miles away. Are there any other sounds that you want me to try and recreate? Which artists are you really digging at the moment? Again, hit me up, let me know in the comments and I will try and make it happen. So there you have it guys, that is how to create a Yotto bass sound in 10 minutes. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Each week, as I said, I'm producing new tips, tricks and tutorials for you. And if you subscribe and hit that notification bell, then you will never miss a video. Until next time, thanks for watching, cheers and happy producing.